All right. Oh God. Uh, how do I fix this? I fucked it already. I beefed it. Hi. Hold on. No. Wait. Hi. There we go. Hi, everyone. Please, God, let this work. This is working. Can I make myself bigger somehow? I can. Look at this. Look at this. Just almost a decade in professional video production, and I can almost make something work. How about that? Oh, big face. Do we like big face? Do we like small face? Small face. No, I prefer big face. What am I doing? I need. How am I? I'm about to start like a consulting firm in video production. Hire me, please. This is. I'm actually quite professional when I work in stuff. Hi, can you hear me? I think so. Warning: the stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. We recommend, and then we recommend you use a lower bitrate. Stream bitrate. Something. I don't know what that is. How do I do that? I don't think I'm doing it incorrectly. Everything is awful. No, I should be using a fucking better bitrate, but that's not my problem. We hear you. Perfect. Hi, welcome everyone to the end of the month hangout. I haven't done these in a very long time because I've had depression and been very overwhelmed with like stuff in general, as you know. But now we're back at it again at Krispy Kreme, and we're gonna do this for again, somewhat. I hope monthly. Hope, dear God, I hope the brain worm doesn't come back. The mic says you're scrolling too hard. That does make sense. I will not touch my keyboard anymore. It could also be my dog losing his shit outside the door. But let me know everything. Let me know if something goes wrong. I did do some audio monitoring beforehand, but I always forget how this works. I always forget how it works. I don't know how anything works. Yes. So yes, we're gonna start doing these streams regularly again. But today I'm just gonna do like this so I can hear in case my dog loses his mind. We're just doing a little bit. But today we're gonna go for like half an hour, 45 minutes, depending on what people have to say, what I have to say, what's going on, blah 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 blah. Jesus. 50,000 years of evolution and we barely scraped the surface of our potential. That's true. God, the background music is quite loud. Perhaps? Maybe. I'm not sure. How are you all doing? Today we're doing a end of month hangout, and I'll mention briefly what that is all about for those of you who forgot, because it's been a while. The way this works is I'm going to talk a little bit about the month that has been, the month that's ahead, and everything in between. Just a little hangout, just dipping the toe in the old community, as they say, and checking the temperature, checking the vibe, and giving some little updates as one does. If I look very tired, that's because I am. But I am also tall and gorgeous. How are you all doing, though, before we go into those? We have 2 bullet points on today's agenda. Month has been and month coming. And like that time about that. Because how are you all doing? I'm also on top of doing this stream, the Ask Me Anything stream as well that I did last week. I'm also next week going to try, for the love of God, to stream some video games as well. But we'll see how I do with that. But I'm gonna try. I'm trying so hard to sort of like keep this engine of productivity going as much as I can. The warning label from the YouTube streaming page has been removed, which means I think YouTube has accepted my stream. I think, I have no idea. Trying to use YouTube as like a platform to do anything is good on one end because YouTube is huge, but also bad quite severely because YouTube is made of like duct tape and spit and has like an infrastructure that's like from the 90s that they keep adding like things onto. Never like quite the things that you actually like want. Like they just, well, maybe a while back ago, although I don't think they fully released it. They just added like A/B testing, where you could add like multiple. How do you say it? Like they let the creators have like multiple titles and thumbnails, and like it will change them intermittently and then pick the one that's like performs the best. Which I tried for my most recent video, and the difference between the thumbnails and titles was no change. No one cared. There was no difference. I don't mind, but like that A/B testing thing has existed on other platforms for ages. YouTube only now is getting to them, and they kind of work, but not fully. And they only let you have 3 options for each. And like, come on, man. Like, why do you have to do everything manually? And yes, for those of you who are unfamiliar with like how this format works, is that I have those 2 bullet points, but we also just hang out. Like there's no structure to this stream. It's literally just we're hanging out. It's a hangout stream. We hang out. People do those still, right? Or am I the only one? Oh God, I hope not. I also, if I ever released a video, which I have for the first time in quite a long time, I also tried to talk a little bit about that, but I don't have much to say about it other than the fact that I was quite happy about it. I will talk about that one as well. I guess that's a subheader in the category of month that has been. But you can ask questions and we can talk shit and we can do whatever we want. I'm stressed as shit from having to write my bachelor's thesis. I understand this stress quite well. I do not remember my bachelor's thesis, nor I don't remember writing it. I have a vague memory of writing like a significant amount of it, literally the night before handing it in, or some shit, or like some weird, like some really like cobbled together with like again spit and duct tape, and somehow we're turning out somewhat well. I don't remember anything from that. Made it in a fugue state, I think. Not unlike not unlike this video the most recent video that I made. Oh, videos game. I've heard about those. I'm having a little bit of a moment right now. I used to be a huge video gamer. By which I mean like that being my primary hobby, but I've kind of lost interest more and more lately, especially in the last couple of months, which has coincided with massive depression. So I don't know how much to put into that, but I think I'm slowly starting to like grow out of video games a little bit. So I'm trying to find like a game that will actually like fit my like how do you say, fit my niche. You know what I mean? I think right now, like I'm currently more into like franchises rather than like video games at all. I'm more right. Like like 6 months ago, I had a huge like binge about the Expanse series of books and novels and novels and TV show. Yes. I'm having that again. I'm right back into it. Like I'm rereading all the books. I'm rewatching the series. I'm gonna finish the series. I never actually finished it. Um, so I'm back into that. So when the fucking Expanse game comes out, which it's coming out now, which is like allegedly very heavily inspired by Mass Effect, which makes sense because Mass Effect also inspired the Expanse. Anyway, when that shit comes out, I'm gonna be playing that shit day in and day out until the day I die. But that's just because it's the Expanse, and I like that shit. I did just bang my table, and I do apologize. These streams need an academic scratch. They do, because I never seem to remember these until several minutes have passed. I also kind of need, like, I don't know how it is in the rest of the world, but in Swedish universities, there's this thing called the academic quarter, which means like if a class starts at 8, it actually starts 8:15 because you get like 15 minutes academic quarter. I don't know why they have it. It's been a while since I've been to uni. I might go back to uni actually to study some courses in the spring for political science, but that's a different topic. Or maybe it's not. Should I talk about that? Should I talk about going back to school? I don't know. I remember my professor telling me that they existed because so that students could nurse their hangovers and turn up late. That's actually just an Uppsala thing. Is that just an Uppsala thing? I'm revealing myself. I'm revealing my academic roots. But it does also track because Uppsala students are quantifiably insane. What's your bachelor's thesis about, though? I'm curious. What's that thesis about? Post-thesis. Fuck, I can't say that word. I did a joke about that in the video as well. I have a really hard time with like the word thesis and theist. Like there's a lot of like noises that I have a hard time speaking, which you think I would not because I'm Swedish and there's a lot of noises in that, but who knows? Where did you get the cowgirl outfit? Online or an actual costume shop? Online. I got that shit online. You know I'm not spending a lot of money for a like if you this with the Miss Twinkon outfit. I really love this outfit quite a lot. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a fun bit. Doing it for the goof, as they say, and I quite like doing it. But I'm not spending a lot of money on that shit. Like I know I can square it over. Like that's a tax write-off right there. You know what I mean? But that's a business expense. But I'm not spending a lot of money on that. Like that hat, like this whole outfit. I think like €5 in total. And that includes a set of fake mustaches that I also got that I was planning to have. I was planning to have like a massive like fake like stick-on mustache, but it didn't look good in the frame. Supposed to watch my latest video. Hope you're doing all right. Hope you like it, and hope you watch it. I'm doing all right. I'm doing fine. I've done better, but I've definitely done worse, especially the last couple of months. No, I'm doing fine. I'm doing great. I made a new video, so I'm happy. It's massively underperforming, but it already has like over 50,000 views. Like it's been out for like 2 weeks now, and I have 160,000 subscribers. It only has like 50,000 views ish, which is quite low for my channel comparatively, unfortunately. But if you compare that with like many other channels that also have 160,000 subscribers, I'm sitting pretty. I don't care. I don't mind. I don't know. Especially and the reason it's like this is because I've been gone for such a long time that the algorithm has forgotten I exist. So when I release my next video, this problem should be slightly less severe, and then I just have to keep that going, you know, for a while. Hopefully I make a new video before the end of the year. Another one. I have a good one. Where I talk shit about Ezra Klein. I'm doing great. Fugue State is the best state for writing. It weirdly is. I produced my best writing in that stuff. That professor told me that he was rushing to complete it in the 70s. He had his mom do the type. Classic. I did harangue my roommate to do the bibliography for one of the like big one of the big like papers that I did. Not my main thesis, but I made a a big essay that determines like if you're fucking grade for a course or something like that. And I remember I just had a Microsoft Word document with like a bunch of links to papers and shit as my source material. No formatting, no fucking Oxford Harvarding, no formatting at all. It's just pure chaos. And because I am the way that I am, I spend every fucking minute right up until the deadline, which I also do with my videos, editing the content and like doing the important stuff, which means that like 5 minutes before actual deadline I'm like, oh fuck yeah, the formatting, you have to do that kind of stuff. So like fair enough, beforehand I harangued my roommate being like, can you just do the formatting please for me, and I'll copy paste it, I'll buy a pizza. And she did. Lots of coffee. Yep. Night in writing. You are a gamer. I know. I need to be cancelled immediately. Any chance for more Leech Fest? I would love to do more Leech Fest. It's a timing issue more than anything. Leech Fest was put on hiatus due to one of the hosts getting a full-time job and giving her very little time to do recording and editing and stuff like that. But we are hopefully it's not going to be a permanent hiatus, but it's still on hiatus, unfortunately. I would love to do Leech Fest again though. I have like 2 or 3 like because like I want to do podcasting again. I like podcasting. It's fun. So Leech Fest is probably not going to come back like immediately soon. I would love to, but it is how it is. But I got like 2 or 3 podcast ideas that I'm like currently rotating in my mind. So hopefully you will hear something, but maybe not Leech Fest, unfortunately. I like The Expanse. I fucking love The Expanse. Geopolitical intrigue in space? Now we're fucking talking. They say that in Germany as well. Really fun. Do you like your party? I don't have a party anymore. Technically, I've fled the country. I'm in exile. I'm living the Trotskyist dream by doing a self-chosen political exile in France. But I am very much short-term looking to one post articles. I've been having that one fucking forever. I have an in at a major Swedish newspaper that they want my opinion articles, so I'm going to pitch my opinion articles to them. And they want them. I just need to write them and like actually like do that. I just haven't, but I can and I will and I should, but it's just taking a long time. Yeah. So I don't technically have a party anymore. I might start an NGO or some shit. I might become a lobbyist. Like a left-wing lobbyist, because the Swedish left barely has any actual left-wing lobbyists. And I mean, when I say lobbyists, I don't mean like fucking you should be pro-tobacco. I mean more lobbyists in the terms of like, how in America you hear about like how the Heritage Foundation like writes proposals and politicians just like copy paste them and like post them. Those organizations do a lot of like helpful work for politicians, because most politicians, especially on a local level, are like retired nurses who don't have like the time to, and like who don't get paid, by the way. Local politicians almost never get actually paid for anything unless they're highly ranked like I was. So they don't have fucking time to sort of like research and write proposals and stuff like that, but NGOs do. So I might become one of those and like bombard a bunch of local politicians in Sweden being like, here are a bunch of proposals for left-wing politics. Use them, adapt them, change the serial numbers and like use them. Because I could have used that when I was in politics. So I might do that. Wouldn't be paid, unless I got funding, which I probably wouldn't get. But you know, it is what it is. But like that's like a thing of like, right, like of the Swedish left is like the Swedish left has like 3 or 4 like super active people in it, who like produce paperwork, and most people just like most people who are elected, they show up and they vote for stuff, but they don't produce like their own ideological material. So that's what I'm hoping to do. I'm rambling about politics again. This is not what this stream is about. If I launch an NGO or some shit, I'll probably make a video about it and then I'll talk about it there. But I won't talk about it now. Sorry. Can you tell? This is why I'm starting the NGO, because I just keep reverting back to politics, which I shouldn't do. I've left it. I'm a YouTuber now, unless I start an NGO. All right. Transgender suffering activism. Oh, I made a video like that. Just copy paste my transcript. Medical pasta does not go high. It just goes on the waitlist. That's right. It's a very long waitlist right now. Get me on WTYP. I want to. I would love to, and they want me as well. I don't know how their schedule is though. I've offered to make like a whole slide. Like I've offered to make like basically the whole podcast myself, and they can just show up. So I might do that. Ousted me and sent me into exile. It happens. Can happen to the best of us. But as any good left-wing ideologue, now is the time I sit and write down my manifesto, and then like, you know, the next year's election. Obviously, I'm not running because like that's when I'm doing like the manifesto. But in like 2030? That's when I do like the glorious return, and like sweep everything around. What am I talking about? A joke. Your party is the official offer name for the UK's new social party. Oh, the Corbyn one. I have not kept up. I have no idea. I put pumpkin when I couldn't think of a word, so I didn't interrupt that flow, and I forgot to replace them. Yeah, that should happen. We did a thing when I was in uni where like I don't know how standard this is. I've not been in university for ages, so I have no idea how this works. But when we submitted a paper for grading, like you do the sort of like you do your defense, right? Like people critique it and you defend it, and then you get your marks, and then you have like a week basically where you get to correct that kind of stuff. Like if you put pumpkin or like dear fuckface in the beginning of it, just because you wanted to like keep up your flow and then you forgot. So if you want to do like touch-ups and stuff, you have like a week to do that after you get your grade, and then it's like goes into the archives and you're done. I love leftism. Leftism loves to splinter. It's great. You're doing great. Wish I could be a political think tank researcher, but I don't have the experience. Sounds fun. Here's the trick. Here's the trick. I've done market research for this to become a political think tank / consultant. No one has experience. No one does. Do you like? Have you ever met a consultant? Have you ever met anyone who is experienced and qualified to be a consultant? No, because if you're experienced and you're qualified, you don't become a consultant. You become the thing that consultants consult to. You know, like I went to a bunch of like other like think tanks, being like, okay, how can I become a think tank? I can't call myself like a think tank person. I can't call myself head researcher of a left wing think tank. That's absurd. And then I looked up like other think tanks and like, oh, these are just guys. These are just dudes who have opinions, and that's it. But instead of sharing them on like X, they like made a very fancy website and made a like very fancy paper and like did a lot of like fancy like PDF files to sort of be like, here's a report. It's not a hot take on Twitter. It's a report. But it's literally no difference. It's just the exact same bullshit. They're just dudes having bad opinions. So why not so that's what I'm gonna do. because my experience, at least when I was in politics, was people in power, they don't give a fuck about what you post on Twitter. They don't give a fuck about what you post on Blue Sky. They don't care what you post, like on hot takes. If you post them in like opinion pieces on in newspapers, it matters more. If you post them in like professional looking reports in PDFs, they listen a lot. But it's all the same bullshit. It's all the same takes, and they all have the same kind of backing behind them. You know what I mean? I literally believe that, like, well, I think that is holding. This is actually a big subject in my next video. A big thing that's like holding back like the left is the idea that we are limiting ourselves by the thought that we have to commit to ideas that we feel fully confident to be qualified in, because that's not what the right wing does ever. The right wing never does that. And to their success, you know, huge. So this is like a big, huge topic of my next video. In fact, to talk about how we can, I don't know, save leftism, save online leftism from itself. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. I'm sorry. I did not mean to keep rambling about politics, but the view count keeps going up, so I must be doing something right. This dynamic takes a John Ray Kingston policy. Actual policies are devised by think tanks and academics in the policy stream. Yes, literally, so much of that is that. Like, this is actually what inspired me to maybe create my own think tank, was because I talked to someone in the party. It was like, when I was in politics, I did great like policy work for my local branch, but if I became a think tank, I could do that for all branches at the same time. But there is no left-wing think tank in Sweden, so I could do that. People's political communism, yes, this will happen. Policies are created in the first place because activists and media form the political interest in it's called the problem stream. Politicians simply select from alternative policies in the political stream. Yeah. Do you like France? Yeah, it's okay. Did you watch how former French president Nicolas Sarkozy went to prison and got out in less than 3 weeks? Yes. After deciding to only eat yogurt. I mean, it's because he appealed his sentence, which doesn't typically get you out of jail immediately for many people, but he's like a rich mafioso, so he can do whatever he wants. Yeah. Turn to Bergen. You should. Like, everyone who is ever anything, in my opinion, anyway, like no one is ever qualified to do what they want to do. You know what I mean? Like, what does that even mean? You know what I mean? Like the most successful people in the world aren't there because they're qualified to do it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no one up there who's actually qualified to be there. They just they just pretend that they do, and they do the work, and then they get recognition for shit they're not qualified to do. And like, why aren't we doing that? You know what I mean? This is literally Trump's whole deal. Trickle-down economics works and it's good, actually. I mean, how many fucking times did I ever hear people talk about, like, well, you can't raise taxes because of the Laffer curve, and I'm like, the Laffer curve it's not real. It's bullshit. Like, you're talking crap about nothing. You don't know what you're talking about. But some guy in a fancy PDF talked about it, so that means that they're gonna use about it. The state of the world seems to indicate otherwise. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, exactly, right? Like, trickle-down economics, like, no, of course not. Of course not. Have you read a French Chime yet? I have. It's quite nice. Join forces with Balance. I could. I need to double check their stuff. Oh yeah, but I think they suffer from the similar thing that I talk about in my next video, is that they think too small. One of my I have a couple of hot takes that like literally no one is like talks about because it's bullshit ideas that like don't work. objectively, like the ideas that I have and will propose do not work, and no one should actively pursue a lot of energy in doing them, but they work for other reasons, but not for the reasons that people think they do. Which is, anyway, this is my whole video. A cool outfit and a neat pen. That's all you need. You can change the whole world with a neat outfit and a nice pen. I might be going to Sweden next summer for a month-long academic placement. How are things generally for trans peeps? Like around Stockholm? Oh, it's great. Yep, you get nothing to worry about at all. I think. You know, like, is it perfect? Nah, but I do think it's like the best place that I've been in a way. Like long term, at least, in terms of like trans peepness. Yeah, institutionally, I would say, like if you're gonna looking for like trans healthcare, I wouldn't recommend it. But like, I like Stockholm is very queer. All right, we're half an hour in, so I was gonna say this. One, I'm gonna do some few changes to my normal streaming thing that I do, because usually before the breakdown, this breakdown, I've had another one very early on in my YouTube career. There are like two big gaps in like my YouTube posting history. One is like from right now, and one is right in the beginning, and both of them have to do with like burnout. Anyway, one is that I'm gonna, like, previously I've streamed for like an hour. You know, come hell or high water, I stream for an hour. Now I think I'm gonna like keep it for like at least half an hour, just because you know, if we're at 45 minutes and like I don't have anything to talk about and nothing is happening, and like I don't want to like needlessly stretch out the video for the sake of it. You know what I mean? Because then it's not fun. Not for you, not for me. Obviously, if we got stuff to talk about, I'm gonna keep going. But like I'm not gonna push it, because I feel like that's something that maybe has burned me out in doing these streams previously. Like I would hit a certain point where like I felt like we ran out of content, and then I would just be like, well, I need to sit for another 10 minutes to do a full hour, and then I just felt like that it kind of drains a lot of energy, and then it's not fun. So that's one thing, but so far we're so good, I haven't even gotten into the topics yet. And secondly, what was I gonna say? Yes, the topics, the month that has been and the month that's coming up. Let's talk about the month that has been. One, I released a video. Thank Christ, it took forever to do that. Finally. This video has undergone so many various permutations, and took forever to write, and took forever to edit, and took forever to shoot. Like, it was like the original version of this video was like 3 hours long, and then I cut massive sections, but then other sections didn't make sense, so I had to reshoot some sections to sort of like make it more connected, and then yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm very happy, at least, that like, how do you say, the video is out. I think the video went quite well, but I don't like the video is not doing numbers, like in terms of view count. However, the views that it is getting are quite good numbers. Not all numbers are equal, because it's getting quite a lot of comments, like an ungodly amount of comments, which I'm very happy about. So there's a lot of engagement per view, which is very nice. I love to see that. That's very good, and that was very healthy. So I'm not. Usually, I think I would be like, if I release videos more frequently, I think I would be a little bit like bummed out about the performance of this one, because this one did not perform well compared to other videos that I made. But considering that I've been gone for a long time, and the fact that like other things are going on, I'm very happy with this, how the reception of this one went, because like I have like people seem to like it. I haven't really gotten a lot of like negative feedback on it. You know what I mean? Like what people have to say about it seems very positive, and people seem to have a lot to say about it. a win for me, I think. Other things in the month that has been. What has happened in the month that has been? Well, yes, I'm doing the streams again. Hopefully, starting next week, I'm going to try to do some more video game streams on Twitch. I'll try, with the love of God, but we'll see how. I don't want to burn myself out on this. How do you say more? What else is up? Because that's also stuff that's like stuff that's coming up. But what has been? What has been? I mean, I want to thank Abby and Jesse for helping out with the video with their cameos, which was very kind. Both of their cameos were, I had written it as if they were not actually going to contribute like their own stuff, but they were both very, very helpful with that. Abby was particularly like, I wrote to Abby being like, I'm gonna do a thing. Like, do you mind if I do a thing, or like, do you want to do a voice, maybe, voice contribution type of thing? And she was like, yeah, I'd love to. Also, I'm recording tomorrow in a full mermaid outfit. Do you want that? And I'm like, fuck yes, I do. So that video came in there and was very useful. And then Jesse also was like, we had, me and Jesse Gender had a huge, not huge, we had a longer than you'd think conversation, like an actual conversation about like the Star Trek transporter and sort of like its existence in Star Trek canon. It's like the concept of the soul in Star Trek fiction. Like, we actually had like a real proper conversation about that. But then the like, can the Star Trek transporter make you pregnant part, like, that was the most fun part, so that's the one that worked. So I just want to give thanks for them for that. I am hoping, I'm setting this as like a very personal goal for myself for future videos as well. I'm going to try to be more connected with like other YouTubers and you know, ask for contributions and stuff like that, mostly because it's fun and because you know, who doesn't love a little silly thing in videos? Are you able to see if people actually finish the video, or does it count as a view if you look at just a couple of minutes? It's a good video for sure. Thank you. There are, I don't know enough about the analytics. There is definitely like, there is a metric to see sort of how many people watch how far into the video. But it does count as a view if you watch for like, I don't know how many seconds, but it's a couple of seconds. You need to watch for like an amount of time. One thing that I absolutely hate about like short form video content is the way that like YouTube Shorts and TikTok counts views. Instagram also does this, because it gives me such like intense envy when I see other trans women creators, they like go on TikTok or whatever, and they make a video and they get like, you know, 4 million views or whatever. But the way that those services, one, provide views, and also how they suggest content is radically different. Like, one, it will show you that video. Like, if you're scrolling and like it's vaguely like in your interest, it will show you it for a second, and maybe you just scroll past it. And second of all, even if you see it for like a split second just to see what it is, it counts as a view. So it's like useless information. Like, that's not a real view. Like, that was not a person who like chose to view your content specifically and chose to like engage with it to the point of like actually consuming it with their eyeballs. But like almost all web pages like count that as a view, except of course, thankfully, YouTube, in which like, yeah. But like, because like I fucking hate how I hate how the algorithm now, YouTube at least has like the sidebar thing of like, here are videos that you might be interested in, but you still have to click on them for them to be engaged with, compared to like with TikTok, where like that whole sidebar, that's just the feed now. They give it to you, like, and you will engage whether you like it or not, which gives you such like fake and false inflated like analytics numbers. Because I also have acquaintances who do primarily TikTok content, and then they like try to migrate that over to YouTube, just because YouTube has a like the value per view is much higher, like orders of magnitude higher, because it is like a more real engagement, and they can have millions of views on one platform, and then they get like basically nothing on YouTube, even though they get like the same amount of like comments, the same amount of regular people, the same kind of people transfer over, but not the stuff over. Have I read any good books lately? I have. I forgot his name now. What's his fucking book? Coming Up Short by Robert Reich, I read. Because I like Robert Reich. I also do enjoy the content of his son, Sam Reich, who does Dropout content. But I actually have enjoyed Robert Reich's books since before Dropout. It's a small world. I recently discovered Pink Floyd Wish You Were Here. So Ron running stuff in my home. I get songs like that. It's great. I watched your video and I really like it. Thank you. I was a bit disappointed there were not more philosophers in it. I know, but like the philosophy bit is more. So many times I feel like in video essays, like when I make videos, I always make them for myself more than anything. Like I very rare, like I don't do the smart content creator thing of like trying to like make a video for like the typical audience member. I do it primarily just for myself. Like if I like my video, I'm happy. Like I'm happy with that. And that's why the jokes are sometimes like a little dumb and a little niche, but it's just because they make me laugh, and then I'm like, well, you know, if you build it, they will come. Type of thing. And whenever I watch video essays and there's a lot of like philosophers, like usually it comes a point of like, this is great, but you are not analyzing anymore. You are only presenting. Like, you are showing that you've done the work. This is just my opinion. I know that I have good friends who do this quite a lot, and I don't mean to like embarrass them or like criticize the way that they do stuff. But like, when they talk a lot about like the philosophers that they've read, like I read way too many most of the philosophy books that I read for this fucking video, I know I don't mention at all because like it didn't seem useful to bring it up. And some creators will feel like obligated to sort of like almost like tick off like every source that they have read for preparation of the video, just to sort of like show that they've done the homework, which is fine, but you're not providing an analysis in those moments, right? And that's what I'm there for. I want to hear what, like, I don't like, it's good that you know what philosophers have said, but I want to know what you have to say. That's why I'm on your channel. That's why I'm watching your video. I want to have your thoughts, not sort of like a summary of other people's thoughts. You know what I mean? So, and I've been guilty of this myself, but like I really try, like it's because it's difficult to do. So I really try to sort of condense sort of like, these are the philosophers that I want to talk about, to sort of lay a foundation to the absolute minimum possible, just to sort of like oftentimes frame the problem, right? And I think I did that pretty good in my last video, for example. I think I nailed it on the head on that one. But I haven't, like, there's so many videos as well, like people like they will like talk for like way longer than they need to about various types of like ways to view a problem, but not use it to sort of frame the problem for then your own analysis, or like use it as like or like you're not setting it up to then later be used in your own analysis. You know what I mean? And at that point, I'm like, why? I might like you're not thinking at that point. You're summarizing. You're not doing an essay. You're doing a presentation, and that's different. I don't want to have a presentation. I want to have an essay. I want to have thoughts. I want to have analysis. I want to have like your opinion. I don't just want to have like I don't want to have a book report. You know what I know? Summary of other people's thoughts. Yes, exactly. That's actually why I'm like very, very happy with my with my most recent video, because I think that I had some pretty my own ideas that I like to like argue for and present, like defend my own ideas. Like they're not the best ideas, and I'm sure that other people have had them, but like, you know, I thought that like the idea of identity as aspirational is like, that's pretty good. I think it ties into sort of ideas as narrative, of course, but it is distinct. Second. What am I talking about? You know what I mean. Someone who also no longer lives in Sweden moved to Germany. Why did you move to France? My partner got a job. Please do not call books content. That is an incredibly depressing idea. Oh, but they are content. Like there are two ways to think about this one, right? One is content is what we associate with like the word content, and content is bad and should be separated from like actual like stuff, like, you know, books and films and music, like songs, like, you know what I mean? Like they're content is sort of like slop in that scenario. Or you can view it as content encapsulates all of those things, but also contains a lot of slop. But I do catch myself referring to like book, like, oh, I like that author, I like his content, and I'm like, that's the wrong word. That's the incorrect word for that one. Editing on the last video was fire. Thank you. I worked very hard on it, and did lose my mind a little bit, but it did take me a little bit of time to sort of get back into the editing game. But once I was in it, it was hard to leave. It was fun. YouTube has popularized the video essay, yet the algorithm seems to explicitly work against video essays these days. It does. Now we want to go back to shorter video. Like there was a period of time when long form video essays, like really fucking long, like hours long, was like the go-to type of content. And now they're like, no, everything has to be a short. It has to be TikTok. It has to be vertical video bullshit. Yeah, like, I'm so tired of it, because it just screams of executives not having any confidence in the audience. Because like, yeah, sure, you'll get like, if you do short form vertical content and you focus on that, you will get a bunch of like, you know, 12 and 13-year-olds who will engage more with your content because they don't have any attention span, and that's a useful thing to do, and you get more eyeballs, and the more eyeballs you get, the more time you get on the app. But like, is that really the type of stuff that you want to do? Because like, you have like, that is more resources that you're getting for not a lot of return, because like you have to cram in ads in there to even get a return, and like most people don't like ads, and short form video content you can do fewer ads on, and like lower value ads at that. So they're really like squeezing the juice as hard as they possibly can, squeezing the fruit for like all the little bit of juice as they possibly can. And it's like, at a certain point you're just gonna get mush, you know, like it's not gonna be good. Reminds me of my least favorite type of video essay, where instead of actually analyzing a piece of media, I just spend like an hour and a half recapping it, and have like, yes, but that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like so many people do this. Like when they do video essays about media, and like they don't analyze it, they just describe it. Like same thing with philosophers. They don't analyze it, they just describe it. They like, you're not doing like, you're just yes, like, thank you, you've presented what it is. Now what? Hey, go do something with it. Have a thought. Have an opinion. Like it's so disappointing. Like when people do like video game essays too. Like I know that like Noah Gervais does this really fucking well. He does it good. He knows how to do it. Like he takes a piece of video game literature and like really like he does present it, because you need to do some presentation and description to actually like set up what you're talking about. But then he does actually analyze it. He does compare and contrast with other things. He does give his own opinion and like nuance to it, and it's good to do that because he knows how to do it. But all like I think video game essayists do this the worst. Primarily, Noah is an exception to this, but most YouTube video game essayists they're so prone to just like they're just describing a thing. Like the game has themes. Okay, then what? Do something. Just think. Why is content view doesn't have a word? It just means stuff in the place. I mean, I think it's because content has become synonymous with sort of like the very like low effort, just like stuff. Slop. I think content is slowly becoming like content got a negative connotation in the way that like slop is getting a negative connotation right now. And I think the word slop is now replacing what content used to mean in a negative connotation. Because I do think content is becoming less and less negative, getting a less and less of a negative connotation. There's a difference between content primarily for money that happens to present an idea versus content that's to present the story idea that happens to make money. There's a different content that's primarily for money that happens to present an idea versus a content that is to present the story idea that happens to make money. There's definitely this. This does happen. I like to think that I am primarily out to present an idea and then happen to make money off of it. I know this is the fact because I don't have a sponsor. If I wanted to make money, I could make money a lot easier by doing slop content. But then no one would want to watch my videos after like 3 months because they would be all bad. Like selling out is nice, but like you're not gonna do anything long form from that. If I want to know what happens in a piece of media, I will consume it on my own. I know, right? Like you don't need to tell me, you don't need to describe the media because like the media will describe itself. You know what I mean? Like you need to summarize so that you can do something with that summarization. But if you only describe the media, you're not doing anything. You know? That's literally what like the AI summary bots are all doing these days. You know what I mean? Like people talk about like how AI is going to replace video essays. It's not. It's going to describe that specific type of video essays that does nothing but describe what a thing is. Sorry, I'm very angry about this. I've had a long form issue with this question actually, so that came up here. Non-specific. Yeah, it's very non-specific. Everything's content, so it makes no sense. Me and Mulder Raid Shadow Legends. Yeah, they have reached out to me. They don't pay that well, which is like so sad. I really hate it. Like they really don't pay well at all. I can get better sponsorships if I wanted to. I did not have a sponsorship on this video specifically because it had taken so long for me to get it done, that I really wanted to focus on like getting it done and getting it right rather than like setting a deadline and potentially missing it and like causing myself too much stress. I really wanted to really take my time with the last video. Assuming everything goes well with the next video, I'm going to start having sponsorships in them as well. Not because I'm like in it to make money, but only because I need to pay fucking rent, folks. It's been a while. Sign up to my Patreon, please. I've lost a lot since I haven't made a lot of video in a while, which I don't blame anyone for, but obviously, you know, I need to pay rent. Have you seen Soviet Vombos essay? And if so, how do you feel about them? I plead the fifth. It would be really funny if I just ended the stream right here. Listen, he is more successful than me. So I don't want to say anything because he is objectively more successful, which means something. I do think that in terms of analysis, could use some improvement, but not the worst. He is not the worst, but he is not the best either. Okay. We've been streaming for almost an hour. That's actually impressive. I didn't think we would be able to fill a whole hour's content, but we usually do, right? It's been a while since I've done this. I forgot how we do it. Anyway, I will quickly talk a little bit about stuff that's like coming up. As you've been able to tell, like I keep rambling about politics because I miss it, apparently, too much more than I expected. In the month that is coming up ahead, I am going to like start some sort of side venture. So you might see me posting something about that, like something adjacent to the YouTube stuff that's not going to take up a lot of my time. That's not going to, like, I'm still the YouTuber primarily, like, and I'm going to make a new video soon. But you might see me post about something adjacent to that, possibly, potentially. But yes. Other stuff that's coming up, we're still going to do the streams. We're going to do these streams more. And I'm already well on my way of making my next video. I'm hoping to make another one before the end of the year, which is going to be a lot about Ezra Klein, but more about abundance, if you've heard about that. The hype about that book is already kind of over, so I kind of missed the mark on abundance, but Ezra Klein and another person released a book called Abundance, and it got a lot of hype and a lot of talk, and a lot of the people are talking about the abundance agenda, and it's got a lot of people like stirred up about like potential futures for the Democratic Party in America because you know, they got their asses handed to them not so long ago. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that and a little bit about the whole, yeah, I'm going to be talking about ideas. Big ideas. Don't worry if you haven't heard about it. I will. There's a big part about this that has to do with like the the Prussian-Danish War of like 1812 or some shit. I don't remember even when it was. So we got Ezra Klein, and we have Franco-Prussian War. Fucking Prussian-Danish War. Sorry. Let's trickle down economics again. So this is the 15th time you've presented trickle down economics. Presented of the 1860s, I believe. That makes sense because it does take place in the video game when Victoria happens, and that is after 1832, so it has to be after that. Military history is not my strong suit. I don't do military history. Anyway, I'm looking forward to making that video. It's so far doing quite well in the whole production pipeline of it all. This one will probably be shorter than my most recent one. I'm gonna try to like, I'm gonna try to make like most of my videos have been longer than an hour. I'm gonna try to like make something that's like an hour or maybe even shorter than that, so that I don't like burn myself out on the script writing, you know, and maybe can make more shorter but still like dense, hopefully dense videos. You know what I mean? Because I like making videos and I've missed it. And I've been too depressed for too long to actually do it properly. But now we're back. I'm feeling better, and we're gonna keep this train trucking. But now it's 9. I gotta walk my dog, because my dog needs to piss. This has been great. Thank you so much for hanging out. It's been an hour. Good hangout, folks. We're gonna do this again in a month. Hope you had fun. We'll see each other maybe sometime this week, if you're into weird video game streaming on Twitch, when we'll play something, not what, don't burn out. I'm holding myself like so fucking tight to not burn out. I'm in therapy. I got my dog. I got wake up hours. I'm so mentally healthy. You don't even fucking know. All right. I'm gonna zoom our way over. Whoop. What is this? Whoop, whoop, whoop. What is this? I've never seen this. OBS always does something fun. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Ports of call, ports of call. Yeah, that's the one I've been. Hold on, that's on my like to-do list that I've been wanting to try. Yes, that could be fun. I'm glad you're back. Me too. Hey folks. Hey folks. Glad to be back. I've missed it. I've missed this so much. It's been very fun. We're gonna do this more often. Just having the background process. I like that's what I hope for. And thank you for your patience while I've been away. I hope to make many more videos very soon. Love you all. Whoop. Okay. Bye bye. How do I mute this? Haha.